Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series. We are moving quickly through 1984. We are currently entering the month of August. Should be done with 84 certainly this week, probably within the next few days, actually. So, moving into 85 pretty quickly. And for the most part, this is a semi-reasonably uneventful program. There's a good bit of first-run stuff, which is always a good sign. And we kind of highlight the issues between the Freebirds and Devastation Incorporated. Devastation Incorporated betraying the Freebirds with the interactions with Killer Khan. Obviously, they've been building this for a while, though. I mean, we've seen Freebirds going one-on-one or heads-up with Akbar's bunch for quite a while, and Khan being on the side of none other than Akbar kind of is an insult because Terry Gordy's the one that brought him in. This is basically the crux of the angle here, is Gordy's friendship being betrayed. And Michael Hayes kind of teases a little bit of, I support my brother, but I don't know what he sees in Khan. I'll send Akbar and Khan and everybody back home wherever they came from. That kind of basic thought. Then we move into a match between Rick McCord and Scott Irwin. Scott Hogg Irwin, the larger of the Irwin twins, or Irwin brothers more accurately. Not a guy necessarily who is, the best athlete, but a good heel, and obviously Bill kind of gains a little bit of that scruffiness just by being around his brother. Rick McCord, I believe, later known as Austin Idol. I'm pretty sure about that. But that's a few years away. Anyway, very basic match. The idea here to get Irwin over in a non-destroyer motif, as obviously Scott Irwin, one of the destroyers, under the masks for a good bit of time. Arm bars and arm locks by McCord. Very precise and consistent with those. Side headlock and just wear down holds by Irwin. Irwin having the power, but still choosing to go with a more traditional, match approach, for lack of a better term. And we see a good bit of that. Then we kind of see the wear down as front face locks and the like. Irwin using his weight and power combination. Very one-sided match, as is to be expected in this type of situation. Not particularly something that you'd find terribly exciting as a fan. I couldn't imagine, having waited all week and being given this particular match, but then neither guy in the match does a lot for me. To be fair, they do get a lot out of the contest from the standpoint of just, heads-up fighting and whatnot. But you do get a victory for Irwin in 8 or 9 minutes, something like that. Went way too long. They do bring the bullwhip to the ring, so that later comes into play, not as a weapon per se, but I'm sure weaponry on the house shows, and a superplex victory for Irwin is the way to go about things here. Killer Khan and Kevin Von Erich up next. Of course, Kevin, the most, prolific and longest term Von Erich, due to being the longest surviving Von Erich. And so Khan and Von Erich having history, or indirect history, because of the friendship with Chick Donovan. Kevin starts with kicks and punches, very simply. A lot of fire, from Kevin Von Erich early. This is really the first time that we see any major selling from Khan, but even that's limited. Khan's still very protected. Amazingly, his sell job in terms of facial expressions really worth taking a look at. Kevin overjumps on a splash in the corner. Then we see several minutes of wear down holds by Khan. Khan eventually does get hooked in the Iron Claw. Of course, the Iron Claw, I think, is synonymous with Texas. If you are a Texas wrestling fan, that's kind of what you're waiting for. It would be almost like the Stunner for Steve Austin or something like that. But Michael Hayes comes in, pulls Kevin off, and goes at Khan himself, as per the issues between the Freebirds and Killer Khan and the rest of Akbar's stable. So a little bit of war there. Then we see Mike Von Erich and Kerry versus the Freebirds. In this case, Buddy Roberts and Michael Hayes, your Freebirds representative. Obviously, this is proof that the Freebirds are not done with their wars with with everybody. And actually, Mike Von Erich and Chris Adams, not Kerry Von Erich, is your match this week. Kerry has teamed with Mike so much, used to seeing that, but it's Chris Adams in the tag team main event this week. And Mike Von Erich has come pretty far for what I would consider to be, that first rookie year, second year, kind of less than 2 full years in the sport regardless. Doing a good bit of action there. Michael Hayes, obviously a guy who has been probably the biggest instigator of the Freebirds. When necessary, we see Hayes and Mike Von Erich going at it pretty amazingly. The wild punches, and that is a Von Erich thing, kind of the wide swinging punches. I've noticed all the Von Erichs do it to biggest degree. Kerry, the biggest offender there. Chris Adams in the ring, kind of a little lost, I think, at this point in his career. Amazingly, does get a big body slam on Michael Hayes at a point, which I think is at least surprising to me, only because actually on Roberts. I think surprising to me only because of the I guess size differential, for lack of a better term. Homemade shirts in the crowd. I love the Von Erichs. I've seen in previous episodes, not this one, but there's an I love Chris Adams shirt with a lady decked out in it. So merchandise, a big thing even here in early '84, even if it's not company endorsed merchandise. Adams comes in and he's pretty aggressive. Still unfinished business, I think, with the Jimmy Garvin thing, but we don't get to see a full finish to that. Michael Hayes does go more aggressive when he gets back in the ring, and Hayes tries to gain victory for the Freebirds. Freebirds still here in August of '84, which surprises me, but a leaping head scissors and the need for me to get my phone. I'll be back in just a second. But anyway, we move into the I guess more toward the finish of the Von Erich Adams match here. Simple head scissors and basic things like that. Expertise by the Von Erichs. The Freebirds sent together as we are close to closing the match here. I will say that a victory for Von Erich and Adams is I wouldn't say surprising, but it's interesting because it's almost like the Freebirds maintain their heat through doing other things, come back to the Von Erichs to fill time and space, and that's kind of what's there. But kind of that roll up and that ability is there as well. Breakup of all falls. The baby faces win your match, and we move into the second week in August of 1984. We'll be back with more action right after this.